Important win. Not our best football. It's not an easy game to play. Um, but the resiliency is important. We scored three very good goals. And then after the own goal, I thought we did a good job of concentrating and finishing out the match. So um, in this crazy season, it's our first road win. So sometimes on the road, you don't play as well as you'd like, but you find ways to win. And so I think that that's a credit to the players. Yeah, something like that, John. Yes, we're going to miss him. I think he continues to make progress as a player. Happy to see him get a really important goal tonight. As you mentioned, he's got a lot of assists this year, and he's working hard. He's a young player with talent, sometimes not as consistent as we think he can be, but every day the coaching staff is working with him, trying to find the right ways to help him grow. And tonight was a good night, and we're still excited when our players get called into their national teams. So for Brian and for Sifu and Chiki, we hope that now they can go and do well, and then we'll get them back, and hopefully they're in good form and with a lot of confidence. From the beginning, we set out to try to make a team that had a playing style and an identity that could connect with our fans. I think we're all proud of some of the football that we've played on some days. And we continue to try to stick to the way that we want to play and keep improving. This year, between starting and stopping and a crazy year, has been a challenge. But we're always proud of what we are all about. We're proud of the kind of football that we try to play, and we're going to keep trying to build on that. It's not as good as it needs to be yet, that's for sure. But the enjoyment that we get trying to have that identity, have a style, push players to get better, and know that our fans appreciate that and that they're behind us. That's the key.
Thank you. And next question to Andy Diosa. Andy, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Bobby, you've talked about players just growing individually, obviously, in positions of leadership. What could you say if you could pinpoint something specific for Diego and how he's been able to really shine this year? Obviously, Carlos is not on the field, so changes the dynamic of the team a little bit, but, he clearly has a great tournament down in Orlando and is the leading scorer in MLS. What is it? Is there anything specific that you could pinpoint that just has him playing at this type of caliber?
From the beginning with Diego, he was a player that had a good mentality. He's intelligent. He wanted to get better. And every season he's worked hard to find ways to improve. With Carlos not being here, it puts more responsibility on him, and he's handled that well. Of late, we've used him more, again, off to either side, but if you go back to the beginning of the year, there were games where he really played well as a 9. So his ability to be dangerous, his finishing has really improved, and overall I just think he's matured, and you can see it in his mentality.
Thank you. And next question, Alicia Rodriguez. Alicia, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you. Bob, congrats on the win tonight. Wanted to ask about Jordan getting the start in central defense. A little bit of a different position for him, at least the MLS level. What do you think about his performance, and do you think he'll be seeing more time there in the future?
Jordan played well tonight. He's been a center back most of the year in training. We obviously still make sure he gets a little bit of left back because we need him there at times. He played center back in some preseason matches, and he's adjusted to that. Jordan would tell you that this season his role's been different, but when the games come very quickly and then you get a sense that some guys need a rest and there's got to be more rotation. When Jordan and I spoke the other day, I told him that we were counting on him in this next stretch, and I thought he responded really well tonight.
Thank you. Next question to Vince LaRosa. Vince, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Oh, I wanted to ask about Pablo Cisniega and the way he's really grown into the position, especially his aggressiveness on set pieces. He made towards the end of the first half some good plays by just really commanding and getting in there and kind of getting his hands dirty a little bit. Is that something that you've seen in training, and how has he grown in that way?
Yeah, it's important for him to have a greater presence, for him to command more plays, to also be a guy that has personality back there. And so I know that he feels that he's starting to get that extra little bit of confidence. Whenever you give up a goal on a night where you're hoping for a shutout, you always feel, you look back on it in a way where you're disappointed for Pablo. It happened late in the San Jose win at home. And, tonight's an own goal. But I think in all ways you can see his confidence has grown. And he's become a bigger presence in the goal. He still makes some really important saves. So it's nice to see.
Thank you. Next question to Josue Lopez. We're going to do one more question after that. Josue, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Bob. Congratulations on a great win. During the week, you spoke about the importance of having more time to train. I remember you perfectly mentioning working in the little details. Did that have an improvement on the team's performance tonight?
No, we did have a good week of training, and in particular, it was nice to be able to have on Thursday a training session where the tempo was faster and where we could really push things. I think that's an important part of the way we try to be at our best. But I said at the beginning of the press conference tonight that I don't think that our football tonight was very good. It was a choppy game. Salt Lake had ideas in terms of hitting long balls out to Latif's side, playing off of second balls. So the game it didn't have a fluidity to it. And in the moments where maybe we could have connected passes better, I don't think it was our best passing game. So we had a good week of training. I think the most important aspect of the win tonight was the mentality and the resiliency.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And our last question for Bob to Gio Garcia. Gio, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Bob. This was the second time all year that you had your front three score in the same game. It looked like Brian Rodriguez, today's body language was a lot different. Obviously, you're going to be losing him and a couple other players. What does the depth of this team look like moving forward?
Oh, that's a nice thing to think about, but it's been not something that we've been able to really take advantage of because of different odd situations, injuries, and some retirements and all the rest. But I do think that there's a lot of guys that can still help this team, and we're still trying to just push ourselves to get back to the level that we can play, to be more consistent, to be sharper. But again, there are certain games where it becomes difficult to get a real rhythm to the game and real fluidity. I think tonight was one of them, but that just means we've got to train better and train in a way where we get sharper.